Fragile, 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 fragile. It has my name on it. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if this was a good idea to order this. Well, I guess now they are here. Okay, let me get a knife and then I'll show you what's in these boxes. Huh? What? What do you mean you know what's in the boxes? Welcome back to another video here from the Off-Grid Garage. Today with a special delivery from Qishou Technology from China. Yes guys, I bought 16 more battery cells for our off-grid system here in the Off-Grid Garage. And this time I went with a totally different supplier in China. The company is called Qishou, or short QSO. And I was in contact with them for a while and we could negotiate a really good price for these cells here. I could not resist. I had to buy them. And as always, I'm sharing my experience with this delivery again. This is delivery number 5 I have so far with Alibaba and suppliers directly from China. I just quality checked all the cells and I must say the quality is outstanding. This is by far the best delivery quality I ever had from a supplier in China. So, so far Qishou Technology from China, a thumbs up. They are coming in these foam separation departments. All the battery cells are in these little departments, safely packed. It even holds my weight here without problem. So packaging, very safe. And I had a look on their website on Alibaba. They are not only selling the EV 280 ampere hour cells, they also have the 272 lithium cells and also the brand new EV 304 ampere hour cells. They do their own in-house capacity testing for these batteries to match them in voltage, internal resistance and capacity before sending them to a customer. And every cell has got this little sticker here on the back with information like the nominal voltage, the capacity measured, the voltage when sending the battery and the internal resistance. And I've checked all the stickers of these batteries now and they're all showing 3.29 volts and 0.15 milliohms of internal resistance. So I could not see any burn marks or scratches on any of these terminals here. So it looks like they are really taking very good care when they test these battery cells for capacity. All barcodes are brand new and intact, and there's also no condensation under these safety valves. And of course these are all A-grade brand new battery cells, capacity, voltage, internal resistance matched. They're coming with 5 years warranty. And I was also asking them to split up this order into 2 separate orders to avoid any custom problems here in Australia. And they said, yeah, well, no problem at all. The shipping costs were only $30 more than if I would have ordered them in one delivery. But this process saved me around $300 on custom and taxes. As soon as I placed the order, they got in contact with me and informed me all the time where the battery cells are, provided me with tracking numbers. So they just kept updating me about the delivery. So I knew when the ship was arriving here in Australia. I knew which Australian courier they were using to deliver these boxes to my home. And I had a very good understanding when these boxes actually would arrive here at my place. Well, and the day before yesterday, they arrived at my door at 6:30 a.m. And because I was on my way to work, I put all these boxes into the Tesla and took them with me. Four of these big boxes have been delivered this morning. They were sitting behind my front gate and I had to put them in the car. They are heavy. And I couldn't stop thinking about this all day long. And I was so keen to take them home and unbox them and test them and have a look at them. And here they are finally. So as I said before, so far this is an outstanding service of Qishou Technology, QSO they are called. I'm not sure if Qishou is the right pronunciation. So delivery time took only 6 weeks from when I made the payment until the cells showed up here on my doorstep in Australia. That's still pretty good considering we've got this pandemic stuff going on still. And I read in some of the comments under my videos that people are still a bit scared to order batteries directly from China. But I can assure you, this company here, for example, does an amazing job. And you always pay your money first to Alibaba, to the platform itself. And they hold your money until you actually confirm having received these batteries and test them and are happy with the delivery and services. And only then they will release the money to the actual supplier of your products. So far I'm very happy with the service and quality of these cells here from Qishou QSO, and I linked them down under my video as well as on my website. So if you are into buying batteries, have a look at this supplier. I think they deliver. Well, so far what I can see here, they have outstanding products and a very good service. And a quick shout out to Amy from Qishou Technology in Shenzhen, China for outstanding customer service. And yeah, of course, I'm not getting paid from Qishou Technology or something. They didn't bribe me or something or made any other commitments. This is just sharing my experience of this delivery from this company here. I'm always honest with you on this channel here. If something is not right or shit, I'll let you know. So the first thing we want to do is measure the internal resistance and voltage of each cell. Just making sure the tester is calibrated, 0.00 ohms and all the zeros voltage. Alright, let's get started with cell number 17. So we have 0.18 milliohms and 3.2957 volts. As per sticker it should have 0.15 milliohms, so it's a bit over, but the voltage matches. 0.18 milliohms as well, 3.296 volts, 0.22 milliohms, 3.295, 0.23 milliohms, 3.295. Okay, let me just measure all the other cells as well, and then I show you the results. I have now tested all the 16 cells here for internal resistance and also voltage. So let's start with the internal resistance. The best cell had 0.15 milliohm of internal resistance as stated on all the labels. And the worst cell had 0.19 milliohm of internal resistance. So this gives us a deviation of 0.04 milliohms, which is 40 microohms deviation only across 16 cells. So I think this is pretty good. And all 16 battery cells have 3.29 volt as stated on the label. But because the tester measures 4 digits after the comma, I could actually measure a deviation of 0.0008 volts across all 16 cells. which is 0.8 millivolt of deviation. So they are perfectly voltage matched. Again, I would say outstanding quality results so far. I'm very pleased with these cells. Okay, the last and final test would be the capacity testing. Okay, we also have to have a look at these little envelopes coming with each pack. Whoa. Okay, we are now getting set screws here with our cells instead of these screws which came with previous deliveries. I heard people in the forums talking about this, that they have changed this now to set screws and flange nuts. So that's pretty nice. So this one saves you to use washers and spring bushes with your setup. We can have a look how this all works out. So I'm screwing the set screw into the terminal now as far as possible. And we can have a look at another one next to it. So when I measure this is only 6 millimeters deep. I really wish they would make them a little bit deeper. Put your bus bar on top of it and one of the flange nuts. Okay, so before you all tighten this now, I would really recommend to make sure, I'm pushing this with only one finger so I can feel, okay, it's not at the bottom of the terminal. And then you want to push this back probably 1/4 of a turn, just to make sure it goes all the way in, but it doesn't touch the bottom of the terminal. And then you've got the position of your Allen key to hold the set screw while you have your wrench sitting on the nut, and then you can tighten it by holding the set screw in position, and you're not pushing the set screw deeper into the terminal now. See, that's a bit of a negative now if you don't use a washer underneath. If you tighten your flange nut, it actually twists your terminal. Okay, and here's our test cell for the first capacity test. We are using the ZKE Tech. This is the EBC A40L. Negative here, and we are going to measure the voltage directly at the set screw. Okay, I have now set up the ZKE. Okay, I have now set up the battery tester, and I've just opened the graph of the 100 ampere hour lithium iron phosphate battery we have tested before, and I just want to show you again how much we actually lose when we charge only to 3.5 volt and let the cell absorb at this voltage. We are looking for the 3.5 volts, right? 3501, that's close enough. And this is at 109.37 ampere hours. To charge to 100%, so this is less than half an ampere hour, which we are losing. But we are saving the cell a lot of stress. So don't charge to 3.65 all the time. 3.5 is totally fine. And we've got the same at the lower part of the curve as well. And again, here on the discharge curve, I'm just zooming in, and we are looking for the 2.9 volt setting, because this is how far I want to discharge this cell, and then we call it. 2.9 is here, and then we have discharged 107.8 ampere hours already out of this cell. So, and further discharging to 2.5 volts, which you can do, so this would give you around another 2–2.5% of the capacity. We will keep this in mind, but I really want to avoid any stress on these batteries. So I have done already the programming in the tester, and we will discharge to 2.9 volts only with 40 amps. And then we're going to recharge the battery to 3.5 volts with 40 amps as well. And we'll have an absorption stop at 5 amps. 5 amps is a bit low actually, because we should probably have about 5 to 10% of the capacity. So this would be between 14 and 28 amps. But because we are not charging to 3.65, we can allow a little bit of more absorption time. And because we are keeping the voltage a bit lower, we don't put too much stress on the battery in this case, and we can just let it absorb a little bit further. So these are the two settings I want to test the battery with. I want to test all the cells with it. And we will do the first one here on the computer. So we will get a nice graph of the EV 280 ampere hour cell. but all the other cells I will just do on the tester, so I don't need to run the computer all the time. Okay, without further delay, let's get into it. Let's do a manual charge of the battery to 3.5 volts first with 40 amps. And then I go into the automatic settings here of the EB tester software and let it do a full discharge and charge automatically. And the test run should take about 16 hours all in total. So I guess I see you again tomorrow morning. This is just a quick update here. So we have now fully charged the battery. After 8 hours and 20 minutes, we have pushed 185.4 ampere hours into the battery. So the battery was at around 33-34% state of charge when it arrived here. A little bit on the low side, I would say. I wouldn't go any further down. It should have been about 50 or 60% actually. It's the better long-term storage voltage for these cells. And you never know how long they've been resting for until they get charged the first time. So charging them only to 33% is a tiny bit on the low side, but still okay. Okay, without further delay, we will see us again in 14 hours. It is now 9. You have a wonderful night. See you in a second. Good morning everyone, welcome back to the same episode as yesterday. We have now fully charged and discharged the EV 280 ampere hour battery. So as expected, the test took about 15 hours to complete. And on the screen you can now see the discharge curve on the left hand side down to 2.9 volts at this point here. And then we've got a recharge again to 3.5 volts without any absorption. I guess you are very keen to see the result now of the discharge. So what we did, we discharged the battery from 3.5 volt including absorption. So the battery was 100% charged down to 2.9 volts. Okay, and without further delay, let's have a look at the top right hand corner here. We can see the discharge in constant current with 40 amps got us a capacity of 270.6 ampere hours. Again, the battery was only charged to 3.5 volt with absorption, and we discharged to 2.9 volts. And we know from previous tests with discharging lithium iron phosphate batteries, if we discharge to 2.9 volts only and not to 2.5, we are missing about 2.5% of the capacity, which is in this case of the EV 280 ampere hour battery 7 ampere hours. So we could have potentially discharged the battery by another 7 ampere hours, which brings us to 777.6 ampere hours then. And then considering the battery was relatively cold, so definitely not at 25 degrees as per the specs, you're getting slightly less capacity out of the battery anyway. So in this case, I would say we have 100% discharged the nominal capacity of the battery with this test. Okay guys, as always, I have saved this information as a picture of the graph and also the data on my website. The link is down below. So feel free to download and study the curve of the EV 280 ampere hour lithium iron phosphate cell. Okay, so what I'm doing right now here is I'm pre-charging the remaining 3 batteries of the first package here with the small ZKE tester here. It's charging only on 5 amps, but we've already charged 103 ampere hours into these 3 batteries, because this tester can handle battery voltages up to 18 volts here, while the big one here, the 40 amp tester, can only handle single cells up to 5 volts. Yeah. So I'll keep testing here. Anyway guys, I think that is it for today's video. The new delivery of the EVE, is it EVE or EV? The 280 ampere hour lithium iron phosphate batteries here from Qishou Technology in Shenzhen, China. I'm very pleased and very happy about the quality of their delivery and also the service. We have now tested all the cells for internal resistance, the same voltage, and also have fully charged and discharged the first of the 16 cells with a full capacity rated. So if you are considering buying these cells from Alibaba directly and you are still a little bit hesitating to do that, I linked 2 videos at the end of this video here you can watch. I had a full cost breakdown and also share my detailed experience with deliveries from Alibaba so far. And as always, you can find the product links to these batteries here and all tools, materials, testers, analyzers in the description down below and on my website. Well, I guess so far this experience sharing here for today. Yes, I'm super happy with this delivery here from Qishou, I hope I pronounced this correctly, I don't know. Outstanding quality of the cells, and they also meet all the stated specifications. Alright guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all your support here on the channel. You stay charged, stay safe, and we shall see us again in the next video coming out very soon, where we put these babies here into 2D. Alright guys, see you then, bye bye.